Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky films, dies at 76, a former professional linebacker. He had a long acting career that extended beyond the boxing ring, appearing in action films, comedies and television dramas, and being nominated for an Emmy Award. Carl Weathers, who went from delivering devastating blows as a linebacker for the Oakland Raiders to delivering knockout punches on the big screen as Apollo Creed, the nemesis of Sylvester Stallone's charming boxer in Rocky, helped ignite one of Hollywood's most successful franchises, died Thursday. He was 76. His family said in a statement that he died peacefully in his sleep. The statement did not indicate the cause or location of his death. Mr. Weathers had a long and varied acting career that took him far beyond the boxing ring. He has demonstrated his talent in more than 80 films and television shows. Beginning in the 2000s, he memorably parodied himself as an acting coach on the sitcom Arrested Development. In recent years, he voiced Combat Carl in the animated film Toy Story 4 and played Greef Karga in the Star Wars television series The Mandalorian, receiving a 2021 Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Series. Previously, in the Adam Sandler golf comedy Happy Gilmore 1996, Mr. Weathers brought laughs as Chubbs, who was a star on the professional circuit before losing his arm in an alligator attack. Despite this, his Apollo Creed character cast a long shadow. Following the release of Rocky in 1976, which was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and won 3, including Best Picture, Mr. Weathers reprised his role in the next 3 installments, transforming from the title character's loquacious rival to his loyal friend and coach. His Creed was given another shot at boxing immortality in the flashy if cartoonish Rocky for 1985, in which he took on Soviet supervillain Drago Dolph Lundgren, an ice-cold robotic megaboxer. How the Times decides who gets an obituary. There is no formula, rating system, or checklist for determining the value of a life in the news. We research, probe, and question before settling on our items. If you know someone who might be a candidate for a Times obituary, please suggest them here. Creed's star-studded appearance at the fateful match in sequins and an Uncle Sam hat, strutting and prancing among the casino showgirls as James Brown, appearing as himself, belted out the anthem Life in America, seemed at the time an apotheosis, the patriotism of Reagan-era mourning in America pop culture. However, the good vibes didn't last until the end of the episode, as Drago beat Creed to death with a battering ram to the jaw. After his signature character was killed off, Mr. Weathers became worried about his professional future. After so many years of working on a character that is indelible, that is so well known all over the world, people in all languages who have seen the films, have seen the Rocky films and have seen Apollo Creed, very often people start to confuse you with the character. He once said in a television interview, "Carl Weathers doesn't exist. Movie producers," he added, "tend to do the same thing. His fears will turn out to be unfounded." With his masculine charisma and ripped physique, Weathers rivaled Arnold Schwarzenegger's bulging biceps in the 1987 action film Predator. A year later, he parlayed his Rocky fame into leading man status, playing a struggling Detroit cop in Action Jackson. Reviewing the film for the New York Times, Walter Goodman noted that Mr. Weathers was a member of the school of movie heroes with a highly developed upper body. Mr. Weathers was irritated by this categorization. That movie star label doesn't really have anything to do with being a really good actor or artist, he said in a 2020 interview with British GQ. Enough promotion of any person, enough films that show that person in a certain light, can make him a movie star, he continued. It doesn't mean they have the acting chops to play a character who may not be like them, with complex ideas behind the dialogue. Carl Weathers was born on January 14, 1948 in New Orleans. In interviews, he said that he considers acting to be his first love and began acting in plays in elementary school. However, his high school football prowess led him to play defensive back for San Diego State University under future NFL Hall of Fame coach Don Corral during a fruitful two-year stint with the Aztecs. The team went 11-0 in 1969, although Weathers missed most of the season with a knee injury. All the while, he kept his acting dreams alive, earning a degree in theatre arts, but he also kept his eye on football and the following year became an undrafted linebacker for the NFL's most famous wild card team, the Raiders. However, A long career in the league was unlikely. He was what we call a teenager. Raymond Chester, a tight end who was his teammate, told Sports Illustrated last year. Carl was strong, fast and had good size, but for a midfielder, he was small. Carl will be safe today. This would be an ideal position for him. He had everything he needed. He was smart, could run like a deer, and was accurate. He was a great athlete. Mr. Weathers played 7 games for Oakland in 1970, but the following season, during practice after the first game, he was called to a meeting with John Madden, the Raiders coach and future broadcast star. He was excluded from the squad. The coach told him, "You are too sensitive. I couldn't let it go, man," Mr. Weathers told Sports Illustrated, recalling the moment. "It kind of left me with a chip on one side of my shoulder, and on the other it felt like a wound, because as a footballer, certainly as a professional footballer, the last thing you want to hear is that you're too sensitive. On the other hand, without this sensitivity, how could I be an actor? How can I even be a decent actor?" Despite all his intense roles over the years, it was on the set of the light-hearted Happy Gilmore that Mr. Weathers suffered a serious injury, breaking two vertebrae in a fall. Luckily, being an athlete and being injured repeatedly, you kind of learn to live with the pain, he told GQ. By the mid-1970s, he was making regular television appearances on shows such as Good Times, Kung Fu and The $6 Million Man. His big break with Rocky soon followed, although the relationship with Mr. Stallone, who also wrote the film, didn't get off to a smooth start at the audition. There was no one to read with, and they said, "You're going to read with a writer," Mr. Weathers told The Hollywood Reporter in 2015. "We read the scene," he continued, "and at the end I didn't get the feeling that it really floated, that the scene floated and they fell silent, and there was this moment of awkwardness, at least I felt it. So I just blurted out, I could do better if you found me a real actor to work with." Mr. Stallone, it turns out, appreciated his Apollo Creed-like fire. Sometimes, Mr. Weathers added, "It's the mistakes that get you the job."